Sincere greetings. My name is Essa Bokar Sey. I am definitely here to share views with you. Before we go any further, those greetings are for citizens of the Republic of the Gambia within and outside, and by extension to others within the ECOWAS member states and beyond. Well, brothers and sisters, with this series that we are conducting on Sunurew television, what we are expected to be prolonging. Therefore, this one is the 5th episode, or episode 5. What are we going to look at again? It is responsibility that we have just ended. Responsibility is not opportunity. We are now continuing on patriotism and nationalism. Then, by extension, functionality, where one is identified as a civil servant or any other task you are assigned to handle for the benefit of many. Before we stretch the thread of analysis, we want to say this. Copycats of bad habits are being discouraged. Let them not copy bad habits. What we have realized in this society, those who engage in activities that are destructive as far as our economy or anything else that is for the common good or national interest or national duty, would always want to be the contagious disease within the sphere of service. That is what we are here today to discourage. Those who think that they are tactical, they are extremely smart, are the ones who run around telling people things like, oh, some of them are just talking, but if they were given the opportunity, they would do worse, or they would do the same. Or you will hear them say, don't mind them, let them keep on talking. There will come a time they would need help, and then they know, like they say in Wolof, buguin dara. They don't want anything for themselves, nothing good for themselves and their families. In fact, some of them, this contagious disease, they will try to make sure that the ripple effect goes around to a point where when you are straight, when you are just and honest, you go home, your family, not even your immediate family, but people close to you, your friends will start reprimanding you. You are just here, trying to be strict, trying to protect wealth, trying to do this. You see, do like your peers are doing. You cannot change this country. Some of them will tell you, in fact, Gambia, we should all try to negotiate to sell Gambia and everybody will take your share and we go. You hear that? Those jokes, we think are jokes, they are ringing inside the mind. Remember, this is the human mind. Why do people listen to music and you see them or hear them repeating those songs everywhere? In fact, you see some people, they like that song so much so that unconsciously, if nobody is looking at them, you see them dancing because of the way they like. You see, those people who are like that in any civil service are the same as the drug cartels in Mexico, Colombia, Honduras, and other places in Southeast Asia and in Africa. They are the same family. There is no difference. They are justifying the unjustifiable. They are trying to make people believe that indecency is decent, dishonesty is honest, when actually we know the difference. They are trying to make you believe that being satanic is better than being a saint, simply because they have no reason above self. You see, most of the bad habits in this world, professionally and personally, stem out of selfishness. Most of it, I can say 98%, stems out of selfishness. If you don't rise above self, you can never be a civil servant commended and medaled by a system for being honest, being productive, okay, and being dependable. Why don't we look at the past and remember people like the late M.B. Wadda, Secretary General? Why don't we look at the past and remember Customs and Excise, today GRA, people like Toure Bugu Dara? Why? They are here. The list goes on. Okay? But you will come to see one thing. The more selfish you are, the more wealth you can gather, which is, of course, illegal. Okay? The more you are revered, the more people will clap for you, the more they will think that dafa am faida. Means you are somebody who knows what you want. However you can get it, though, you don't care. Remember, there is what we call public servant, civil servant. Now let's analyze these words. A public servant depends on the public for their remuneration, for their earnings, for their benefits, for their per diem, for their interest and everything. You turn around and make that public see you as you are the colossal Caesar of Rome. When you pass, the kind of car you drive, you enjoy that way of bringing your glass down, look at people like a Hollywood actor, Nayan Def, that classic greeting. Naka halei, yanansi jama. Oh, and then you bring your glass up again. And then the society, because of ignorance, and some of them are hungry, would think that that is the best way, and they may also want to groom their kids to be like that. They will also be saying the same, Nayan Def. And in fact, if they go to the stadium, we studied that at the university. We had a lecturer who said, the conformists. You see, conformism, those who study sociology can delve into that. You know, the copycats. They are so much soaked into inferiority complex. You know, people don't understand. If you are poor, you're working at the gas station, you can still be somebody who is self-confident. I've seen that in the Gambia. I've made friends. People who are selling stuff, they are my friends because those people are self-confident. They like what they do. Some people in the offices, like us here, they are the ones who suffer from inferiority complex more than any person you can see. Let me tell you that from today. You know why? They believe the way to show difference is even when they clap. Look at it. It's analytics. It's academia. People study human behavior, psychodynamics. People study it. This is not like separating them from the others and then caricaturing them. No, 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 no. Look at the way they clap at the stadium. Just observe. You see, when the boys are playing, the conformists, these are books written, okay, about the human mind, human behavior. This is the way they clap, you see. You know, they don't even clap like this. No, 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 they'll clap like this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, all those things, look at it. Go to the village, the natural person. When you say something that makes them laugh, you see that they laugh with a clean heart. But these people, even if they really want to laugh, you hear the way they laugh. You know, that's it. These are the things we have in our society. Human behavior and any other thing around our characters and characteristics has so much left to be desired. And then the ones who feel they're the wretched of the earth and the downtrodden, the one who feel that they are poor, I've made friends along the way, and I've tried in my little way to inject that into them, and they appreciate it. Not to blow my own trumpet, but they know. Go near them, stop the car, come down, sit with them. That's not acting a movie. It's not like, yeah, I am different from the others. I care for you. No, 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 no. I am not even showing you that I care for you. I will come to you and make you believe that you also care for me. If you stop at somebody who inflates tires, you greet them. Just day before yesterday, I did it. I arrived at a place. These are the things we should do to motivate people. I stopped. The little boy looked at me. It's just here, Brufut. I said, I want to inflate one of my tires because the dashboard is showing me that it's deflated. You know what the young man told me? I laughed. He was full of humor. He said, do you want VIP or what? I said, VIP? He said, yes. He said, thank you, Moto, I'm VIP. That's so funny. And I looked at this, I laughed. I said, thank you, Moto. The car tire has a VIP. He said, yes, sir. We charge people $10, but if it's a VIP, we will expect you to pay each tire $30. That's why I'm asking. I laughed. I said, okay, I will change the word VIP for you. He said, what? I told him, you know, they say it's very important personality. He said, yes. I told him today VIP will be very important performance. The young man is going to school. He looked at me. He smiled. He said, thank you, uncle, but I'm the boss here, you know. And we started laughing again. I said, okay, these stories, listen to it. It's very important. He said, I'm the boss. The other one inside came out laughing. And then he told him, you are the boss? He said, yes, I'm the boss. Because I'm the one talking to him. If I say his tires are not going to be inflated, they won't be inflated. I said, I agree. You are the boss. You are a boss. And then we laughed again. Then I told him, what do you do? This is their job. They go to school. Even if the kid does not go to school, what I have learned from there is that the parents and the people who have opened that place asking them to work are teaching those kids that this is better than being a burglar. I did not pay for all the tires. I gave them 200. Look at the honest way. Listen to my story. The boy and the boys there are honest. The other one said, he didn't know that I speak Fula. He said, Ya to ndara wechet ngadanabo. Endanyani wechet. Which means go there and get some change and bring it to him. We don't have change right now. And I said in Fula, I'll ask him to wait. I smiled. Because he doesn't know that I speak Fulani. Then he started struggling. You can see the honesty in those kids. I called him. I said, Argai. Then he was surprised. He smiled. Then knowing that now I speak Fula, I told him, how much change do you have? He said, Uncle, I only have 150. I told him, no, you charge me 10. He said, yes. I said, now I am going to pay you 50. The kid almost cried. Thank you very much, Uncle. Thank you very much, Uncle. I felt so happy inside me, wallahi, because I looked at those kids and I knew that these kids here, if they are given an opportunity, they can be anybody and anything. I can give you so many stories. You know why? It's not like I'm trying to sell my image. If you listen to my stories, you will see what is wrapped within them. Teaching myself, teaching others to understand that our sharing and caring should be synchronized. That's the way we can push each other. When I went to Nyofele, I bought a place there. It was fenced. My family came from the United States and visited it. I commend my family for that. These are stories I want to share too. Okay? Because when you talk about civil service, we have already analyzed that. Now let's talk about the human being within the Gambia itself. When that place was built, Women are there. They used to have their garden. Some of them do not have places where they would do their gardening. I told them that I'll fence it and put a gate there. And then whatever you do here is fine. The well is there now. The solar borehole is there now. Hardly do I even go to that place. You're not the one who wants to come and tell you, oh, I'm a different person, I'm a kind person. It's the one who will come there every day. I do not even go there because I'm not doing it for them to praise me, but I want them to pray for me because the prayers will be connected to the one who will reward you and he never owes anybody anything. That is Azza wa Jalla. This is the way we should think. I suffered as a kid, walked on foot, brought down silk cotton trees in Kuntaya, took the cotton-like stuff, put it in a small bag like what they call ngegenai, a pillowcase. I walked on foot from Kuntaya to Ndungu Kebe, local market, sold it, put the money in my pocket, walked back to Kuntaya to get lunch. I did that, Essa Bokar Sey, with my brother Amadou Sey in France. I did that. I suffered. Okay? If I tell you all my stories, but there were people around me. This is why I don't forget men like Babukar Suare, teacher. And then along the way I met people like Baba Kante. They would give you some guidance as a kid, seeing the future in you. It's not the money. I can raise my head high up and say, nobody can stand in the Gambia and say that I took money and gave it to Essa to go and read. No, no, no. But there are people, landmarks in my life story, which I want to share for people to know. That's why I talked about functionality in civil service. You see, the functionality does not stop within the four walls of the office. No, 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 no. The ripple effect of your actions should affect every other person. Because you are still that person who is earning because there are people paying taxes. That's why they call taxation with representation is better than taxation without representation. What is representation? People do not understand. When you hear representation, they only think of, okay, those on top, they are the better example, like members of parliament, presidents and all that. But when it comes to taxation with representation is better than without representation, you, the civil servant, you're part of it. The taxes that are paid are what pay your salaries, pay your per diems, pay your interest. And all the time people will say, Gambia, you will just talk. Gambians don't like hearing the truth. I have an answer to that. A Gambian that I meet, you tell me, though you don't want to hear the truth, I will tell you, then you will hear lies. And if you are somebody who tells me yes, then I would rather prefer hearing lies. I will tell you that then you are a liar. A person who prefers hearing lies is a liar and will be fed on lies. And a life that is fed on lies is a life that will lie down one day groaning in pain out of regrets. No doubt about that. So we have to understand one thing. These deficiencies, we have to remove them. Me, when I speak, I don't target one person, one individual, one setup, one government. No, I don't speak like that. I speak to myself and to the citizen, whoever you are, to understand that service to nation is not a joke. And now look, let's go back to this. I talked about functionality. An institution is not an institution without functionality. But functionality with a lot of deficiencies is a liability. Simply put, then you become a liability to people because you are there, like I say, like a talala. You see? Like a toy. If they pull you, your legs will be dancing. If you are left, you start again. We don't want talala civil servant. We don't want that. We don't want talala businessmen. We don't want talala taxi drivers. even our own behavior. I talked about civil servants, but if by extension you see that I am touching across the board. Public service, civil service, private sector are all synchronized. Now look at other countries. Last year I said it. I will say it this year again. Feeding the needy shouldn't only stop during Ramadan. It should be stratified. It should be a preparatory part. If we are to prepare the needy, and then access to resources comes. But the best part, though, according to teachings, Ramadan also is part of it. Now look at it. You see, especially a country like Gambia, particularly in Africa, most of the time, people will just focus on the public figures, the public servant, the politician. But let us look at all of us together. The people that we call the gurus of the corporate world, what do? Do they support to be seen, or do they support to be felt? I would rather support to be felt than be seen. The little that I do during Ramadan or before Ramadan, and another person like me does, had we had a group somewhere, dump the money there, when Ramadan is here, we identify different places. I heard that there are groups who go on serving, what we call it, ndogu. The end of the day, when you fast at the end of your meal, what would we call it? Ramadan supper? Fine. Breakfast? Fine. But those are what I would say they lack organizational discipline. Everybody is doing it to be seen that you are doing it. Group X does, Group Y does. Look, there could have been a big center, okay, where people will be ready to cook a lot of food. And then in the evening, you have a huge truck comes out with food. But in places like Egypt, Morocco, and other places, you know what they do? They have long tables in the street. And the food they serve there is the same food that a king would eat in a castle. It doesn't mean that because the other person doesn't have it, all you put is a sandwich and a Coca-Cola and give it to them. Sandogu. No, let the ndogu be correct. Yes? Because, I'm saying it because I do it. I don't need to come on television or come in the street for people to see what I'm doing. In fact, I don't do it only during Ramadan. And I swear to my Creator, I ask Him and pray to Him that let Him alone know, and the creation, the slave that I am serving, me, the slave, by extension, giving them what was given to me by Him. Abdul Aziz Sy said it to somebody. He gave him a lot of money. He turned around and gave it to the other person. And the one who brought it for prayers was almost dying. He looked at him and said, "Man, post office la. I am a post office. What Allah posts through me should go to others. It's not for me, Abdul." That's it. Are we doing that? Let's ask ourselves. So this is why we are saying copycats of bad habits should be discouraged. Before I end this segment, you are in an office. You see Issa has been stealing over the years. Machinations all around. Issa is building, and in the Gambia, a proliferation of beautiful big houses. And those are the very people who will go and tell you, "Oh, yeah. You have to do this so that your kids will." You see, sometimes it is good to plan. Absolutely. Wallahi, the planner is Allah. You know what you should plan? Yourself. Yourself. You are the number one plan. Kennedy said it. What can I do for my country, but not what my country can do for me? Why not we borrow it and say, what can I do for Gambians, but not what Gambians can do for me? If you are somebody who steals, who magnetizes money, who inflate vouchers, who try to find out where you can get a trip and then try to go to the office of the president, you write something that you know is not even true, they will not deny you. I'm not protecting them, but when you hire people, you are expected to trust them until they do something blatant that is to be distrusted. Blame yourself. You the one who go there with the wrong story to travel. Blame yourself. Don't blame the OP. Yes, blame yourself. You the one who are in private business, you are running away from tax payment and you know how to do it. Blame yourself. You the one who works at Gambia Post Authority and other places, you know what you do. You go home with a boot filled with 50 to 100 to 150,000, as people are saying in the streets. If you know you are doing it, blame yourself. That's it. You don't have to wait to be arrested. You don't have to wait to be corrected. Don't do it. You work at the bank. You know what you are doing is not correct. It is very bad. But you yourself would not blame yourself. If you are arrested, the first thing they will tell you is, go to Marabu X, go to Marabu Y. And then they will pray for you so that Mobeda Sisuki, Kuneka Sagementeju, go to Kalahunduko Musoko. You know, I laugh. Because, look, I'm telling you this thing because I'm from that kind of family. We are family of Marabus. Who does not know that? We have a family geography in the Gambia. There are certain surnames, when you say them, even if you don't know Kala wala Kasiran, if you cannot even recite Fatiha, they will associate you with it. But at the end of the day, you look at yourself, you look at your society, you look at the disparity. You look at the disparity between collective development and individual development. You assess it yourself. Honestly speaking, you will know that definitely there is a big, big, big difference between me and these people around me. Some people will have farms in the Gambia, and then they will hire Gambians. You take them to the farm. The way you pay them, the wages are low. But those very people are people who went to school and they were passing tests in history and they used to write critical papers about plantations and slave owners. They are doing worse than the slave owner. Because the slave owner is some white person from somewhere overseas who came and caught your brother and your sister. You are a black man, a black woman in Gambia, in Africa for that matter, running a plantation, and you want to blame the racist in the United States? You want to blame the skinhead in the United States? This is why I said the ripple effect of functions of the civil servant and the copycats is what will go around and affect every particular individual. So when you are kind in the office and just in the office, honest in the office, caring and sharing is your motto in the office, you will expand it to any sector of society. As little as the act is, do it. Another thing that I do, my drivers know that. At any time I'm driving, I see a woman carrying, sometimes we call it baignoire, these big pans with a lot of lettuce, a lot of cabbages and all that. They're walking past the street. I am not doing it for people to say, oh, he is a kind man. No, it's in me. Because Khadija Tabba, my mother, did it. So I knew how painful it was to me to see my mother suffering that way to make me with the help of Allah and my father. So when I see a replica of my mother, I feel it. And that mother that I am stopping the car for, tomorrow her son or her daughter could be the next president of the Republic of the Gambia. But if you don't motivate her that way, if at that little action, when you do it, you see they turn towards you, they do this. Jeff. Sometimes when I say this, like I'm trying to show off. No, it's not that. In fact, sometimes my tears roll, but they don't see. I look at them, I think of my mom. So am I doing it to be praised? Am I doing it to show that I'm different? No, because I feel it. I grew in it. Some people will tell you, yeah, you know, some people, you see, the reason why they are like this, because they find a poor background. That makes me laugh. Ahmed Sekou Toure came from a poor background. Oshajifo Nkrumah came from a poor background. Amilcar Cabral came from a poor background. Nelson Mandela, of course not. So the two are here to prove themselves. Muammar Gaddafi, the late, came from a poor background. Ernesto Che Guevara came from an aristocratic family, but he saw what is necessary. He moved to Cuba. You can say anything about him, but the vision and the mission was to liberate people from domination. And others and others. Francis Edward Small did not come from a poor background, but he fought. So either side, it is the contents of the character that matters, not the background where you're from. My brothers and sisters, well, let me tell you this. The reason why these series are coming out, or what other people are saying about society, is that a society without sensitization is a society that will be hanging on lost illusions. And when you hang on lost illusions, you will end up being absorbed by illusions. When you are absorbed by illusions, you will come to realize that the honest side of life, a meaningful life, the factual side of a meaningful life will be elusive to you. Let me end it here. A person who is born and a citizen and is expected to serve their nation, you will either live for something and die for something, or you live for nothing and die for nothing. And there is a politician who said it. He said, if you are born in the Gambia from 08 to 21, and Gambia doesn't want for you to sacrifice anything or to even die for it, he said, then you should not have been born. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Yes, our brother Essa Bokar Sey.